So I think the Indianapolis game is going to be stressful. It's a heck of an opening game. I think the Colts have been a little bit underrated this offseason. Their secondary is going to be their weak point. Their front seven is fantastic between Buckner, Grover Stewart, Latau, and Zaire Alexander and AJ Speed. Quiddy Pay is a very good defensive end, so that front seven is going to be very, very good. Kenny Moore is a very good slot cornerback, but the safeties beyond Julian Blackman's not bad, but the secondary is going to has shown to be kind of their weak point. Houston put up a lot of passing numbers against this defense last year, and I expect them to probably do the same thing this year. Hopefully, the running game has a little more firepower with Joe Mixon, but I feel like this is going to be a pretty high scoring game if I had to guess. From the other side, we saw what Anthony Richardson did to the defense last year in a short time span. He's an electric player. Can definitely move the ball between him and Jonathan Taylor. Good wide receiver core. It sounds like Josh Downs is probably not going to be able to play, but Mitchell and Pittman and Pierce is a quality group. So I'm not too terribly worried about the passing game that Indianapolis is going to bring, but Steichen's just such a very, very good play designer. He shifts pockets around, puts a lot of motion and a lot of eye candy on things to really confuse the defense. And if Richardson can kind of keep his footwork clean, find himself some clean pockets, he very well could have a big day against Houston. I think the running game is going to be the big part, and I wrote that with Azeez Al-Shaair this year being one of my most impactful players that Houston brought in, and it's specific to the run defense. The team is really going to need him to step up. Daniel Hunter and Will Anderson, I'm excited to see what they can do from a pass rush perspective. And I'm not too terribly worried about their run defense on the edge, but I am a little concerned about the interior with Fatukasi and Mario Edwards in regards to the run defense and how that translates back to not having Christian Harris back there. So I'm curious to see who's going to come off the field, if Toa is going to come off the field in sub packages, leaving Hansen and Al-Shaair on the field, or if Toa is going to stay on the field. I have a feeling Hansen's probably going to stay on, but we'll kind of just have to wait and see how that plays out. But I think just the imagination that Steichen brings to the table from an offensive scheme perspective is just going to be really fun to watch. It's going to be a chess match between him and DeMeco Ryans. If Jimmy Ward is ready to go, like we've seen him do all training camp, and can stay healthy, we'll be able to see that interchangeable safety roles that we're seeing versus a single high look that we saw a lot during preseason with the vanilla packages with Kalen Bullock playing out in center field. So hopefully we see a lot of the interchangeable safety work. Jalen Petrie will slide down to nickel in the sub packages, and probably Eric Murray come on as the additional safety whenever they run those packages. Miles Bryant will be the backup nickel. And so I think the secondary matches up well with this Indianapolis wide receiver core. Pittman's a big dude, very consistent. Mitchell's just going to be kind of their electric horizontal player that's going to put a lot of pressure on Azeez and Hansen and Toa there in the linebacker group. Petrie's going to have a handful trying to cover him, but he's going to do a lot of horizontal work. So, and Steichen really moves the pocket around. He's very good at that. He's very good at creating good throwing lanes for his quarterback. So, beyond just Jonathan Taylor's show that we know we're going to see, I'm excited to see how this defense matches up. And this game can go anyway. I'm not going to do any score predictions or anything like that, but my confidence is high. I think the line is 2.5 in favor of Houston, which going to Indianapolis is good because you always kind of have that, 1.5, 2-point bump for playing at home. So, but from what I've read, it sounds like 91% of books, or at least at one casino, 91% of the money was on Houston. Both on, it was like that was the money line. I think the cash line, and then on the over under side was like 86% on them. So I mean, the bettors out there really really favoring Houston on this, and we saw there's a lot of excitement for this team, just not locally, but across the league. I mean, we saw on NFL Daily, Greg Rosenthal's new show, Jordan Rodriguez was on there, and she was in town just not too long ago watching practice when the Rams were in town, and she stood on the little table and predicted that Houston was going to make a run to the Super Bowl. And there's a lot of people that have that sentiment, a lot of smart people that have that sentiment. So it's going to be definitely need to go week by week. This is going to be a hair pulling out kind of season, even if you don't have hair like me. And I hope the team comes away with the win. I mean, I have pretty good confidence that that's going to happen, but Steichen is not going to make it easy. He is not going to make it easy. And I think so. Gus Bradley, I think's the DC in Indianapolis now. So, which he runs a lot of cover 3 type systems. So, hopefully, we see a lot of corner routes and double post work. Really put some pressure on that cover 3 safety look. So, I'm excited to see what Bobby Slowick brings. I think there's going to bring a lot of firepower. I think it's going to be hot and heavy early. I know he'll want to establish that run game, but I have a feeling it's going to be a pass to establish the run game scenario and not a establish the run to pass the ball kind of game. I think you might see a lot of attempts out of CJ Stroud early in this game, a lot of 3-step quick looks, start to get those linebackers to move out of the box a little bit, to back off, work off in coverage, and then start working in Joe Mixon in the running game, later in the first quarter into the second quarter, and then try to really start to control the game there. And then you kind of play that chess match between the DC and the OC going forward after that. So with that, we will call it a night. Everybody have a good evening. Peace.